Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen, and I am the Education Director for Sea Turtle Inc. Sea Turtle Inc. is a nonprofit sea turtle hospital on South Padre Island. We do have a three-tier mission. We work towards educating the public, rescuing and rehabilitating sick and injured sea turtles for release back out into the wild. And then we also work towards conservation efforts for all marine turtle species. So today I am standing in our hospital. Hi, thank you so much for hopping on. Slowly we're going to start seeing people trickle on. I started a little fast today, but for everybody that is on this live, go ahead and type into the comments where you guys are tuning in from, because we always get really excited to see just how widespread our reach is. Thank you guys so much again for joining us this afternoon. Right now I am standing in our hospital. As you guys can see behind me here, I do have some little turtles swimming in the tank in front of me, and we are going to be doing an enrichment. So the main species of turtles that we get here in our facility are green sea turtle juveniles, which means they're pretty young, mostly under the age of 10, give or take. So we have some veggies in front of me. I'm going to spin my camera around so you guys can see. So this is a mixture of cucumbers. You'll see bell peppers in some of them. The main part of the sea turtles' diet while they're here in our care is seafood. We feed them a mixture of squid and shrimp, as well as mackerel, which is a type of fish. So that's the main part of their diet. These veggies are a little enrichment. So I see lots of you hopping on. We have some locals from Mission, people from Puerto Rico, Ruby in Georgia and Pennsylvania. Let's see who else we have in here. Kentucky, Houston, Nebraska, North Carolina. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this afternoon. So we also have some people from Seguin. So we have, so we don't get to show Surrectus that often on videos because he kind of gets a little spooked and he'll go to the back of the tank. But Surrectus is this little patient that's on the screen right now. This turtle is missing 1.5 flippers. So you'll notice he doesn't have a flipper there in the back. He has this little nub in the front. Surrectus washed up on the beach, and those injuries had already healed. So we don't necessarily know 100% what those injuries came from. It could have been from a predator out in the wild. It could have been from entanglement. We're not 100% sure. Now, a lot of people ask, whenever a turtle is missing a flipper, are they able to get released back out into the wild? So as you guys can see, Surrectus gets food perfectly fine in his tank. He's able to dive to the bottom, no problems at all. Because of that, this turtle is eligible for release. So hopefully all 3 of these little patients will be released before the end of the summer. The other turtles that he shares a tank with, we have El Tigre here in the front, and we also have Buddy. Now, Buddy and El Tigre, for those of you that have been on some of our lives, you guys have seen them a lot. They are both here because they were stuck in the rocks down at our shipping channel. So you'll notice that there's some scratches there on the back of their shell. They were wedged so tightly in the rocks down at the jetties that when we pulled them out, it actually peeled the keratin layer off the top of their shell. The good news is, though, is those injuries will heal, and once they do, they can get released. So if you guys do have questions, go ahead and type them into the comment bar. One question I see coming in is, are you in Padre? We are located on South Padre Island, Texas. Yes. Good questions. So there is a current in our tanks. You guys will notice the turtles are kind of moving around the side there. We want to make sure that no matter how long they're here in the hospital, whether that's a week or a couple months or even a couple years, that they maintain that muscle strength that they would have from swinging against the currents out in the ocean. So every single one of our tanks does have a current in it as well. So you guys will notice the food floating in a circle at the top of the tank. They're going to get those little bites, but I'm going to put some more over here, and then hopefully we can get them back by the front. Question coming in from our locals. When will we be open again? That is a good question. We do not have a date set as to when we will be opening. There are many things that we have to do to help protect the health of not only our staff and volunteers, but also visitors when they come in to see us. So we're starting to put those protocols in place. As soon as we set a date as to when we will be opening, we will definitely post that on our website as well as on Facebook, so you guys can find out that way. we're excited to open again and see you guys. Let's see, a question coming in from Taryn. How long do you think until they can be released? Good question. So these turtles have been here for, let's see, Surrectus has been here since December of this year, and Buddy since November. Let's see. Whoop. And El Tigre has also been here since November. Sorry about that. So not too long. They'll most likely be released sometime in the next couple months. Good questions. Jacob, who is 11, says he loves sea turtles. How do their flippers help them swim? Good question. So if you guys take a look at Buddy here, you'll notice those two large front flippers. They act like big paddles, so that's what helps push them through the water. And then their tiny little flippers, you guys will see here with Surrectus, that's what they use to steer whenever they're swimming. A question from Jesse is your online store currently functioning as far as shipping? Yes, it is. So for those of you that did not know, we do have an online store for Sea Turtle Inc. So even though you guys are not able to visit our gift shop in person, we have a number of things that are on that online store. If you guys are looking to purchase some Sea Turtle swag, feel free to visit our website. It is seaturtleinc.org/shop to get directly to our gift shop page. Good question. How many turtles do you hold per tank? It varies. So right now we have a very limited number of patients. We only have 8. So there are only 3 turtles in this really large tank. We try and give the patients as much space as possible so they have room to swim and they're able to get an adequate amount of food. If we do have more turtles that come in this tank, we've easily had 6 or 7 smaller turtles in here, but obviously we try and keep those numbers down so everybody has space. See some people commenting that you guys love turtles. Someone has a tattoo on their foot. Age 5, Brayden age 5 loves sea turtles. Dawson is saying they love watching our live streams. We're so glad we've been able to, sorry you guys, I have you staring at our vacuum here that we use to clean the tanks. We're really excited that we've been able to share our facility with you guys in this way since everybody is stuck at home, and hopefully this is something we can keep doing when we are back open to the public. Probably not to the frequency that we're doing them now, but at least once a week is what we're planning. A question from Brittany. Woo. Is what is their favorite food in the wild? What are they eating right now? So green sea turtles' primary source of food are seagrasses and algae, which is why we supplement that part of their diet with the veggies. So if you guys hopped on late, right now I am feeding our patients an Enrichment. This is a mixture of green bell peppers and cucumbers. A question from Chad. Do you ever get in the tank and swim with the turtles? That is a good question. So right now we are standing in our hospital. So our goal with all the turtles you guys are seeing right now is to get them back out into the wild. So we want to make sure that they have limited human contact. The only time we take them out of their tanks is when they need any sort of procedure in our clinic. Other than that, we do not handle them. We do not get in the water with them because we do not want them to become accustomed to humans. Good question. A question from Miss Gorman, who is one of our rehab staff's mom. She is asking, when are the first Kemp's nests expected to begin hatching on the island? That is a good question. We have had such an awesome nesting season so far this year. We are going to be doing a nesting update here in a couple days, so I'm not going to give you too much info, but those nests typically incubate for about 45 to 60 days. So I would imagine when we got our first nest, we should start seeing babies here in the next month or so. But they'll give you more updates on that at the end of the week. When do y'all have a Name the Turtle contest? Coming from John. That is a good question. So how we actually get all of our names is from the people that find them. That's one way for us to keep those visitors involved. And of course, they become really attached to the turtle that they found. So they name it and they keep coming back and supporting our facility, obviously, and they get really excited to do that. So one thing to keep in mind, if you guys are here on South Padre Island and you happen to stumble upon a turtle on the beach, obviously give us a call. If that turtle is sick or injured, you will get to pick the name for that patient too. All right, so I do have some veggies for this tank here. Let me make sure I have the right bin. Oh, here we go. So in this tank we have Milo is one of the patients in here. Let's see. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and type them into that comment box and I can answer them as I see them pop up. A question from Hope was, are these turtles males? That is a really good question. The only way to tell the sex of a turtle is when it is an adult. So these turtles are both juveniles. They're actually younger than the tank I just showed you. They're pretty small. So they're not adult size yet. So one of our turtles' names is Milo. You might associate that with male or female, either way. We are not for sure if these turtles are male or female because they are so small. And it's not something that we need to know in order to successfully rehabilitate these animals and get them back out into the wild. A question coming in was, are there any turtles ready to be let go? We did just release 3 of our Kemp Ridley patients. We shared that video a few days ago, so if you guys scroll back through our feed, you'll be able to see that. But as of right now, we don't have any turtles that are getting released anytime soon. When we release the turtles, this is a question coming from Dawn. When you release the turtles, do you tag them? Yes, we do. So we want to make sure that we're able to identify these turtles that have been in our care in the future in case they were to strand again. So we do apply 2 types of tags. One is a metal tag. So if you guys imagine getting your ear pierced, that tag clips onto the back of their flipper and it has a number associated with it. We also do pit tagging here. So that is just like if you guys were to microchip a cat or a dog, that tag goes right in their flipper. We scan it and a number will pop up if that tag is present. So we do have 1 turtle that is in our hospital, and that is El Tigre. That turtle is a patient that has been in our care in the past. And the way that we knew that was because of that tag that was present when he got released the first time. Good questions. How much do, another question from Miss Gorman is, do sea turtles have teeth? They do not. They actually have a beak very similar to the beak of the bird. Green sea turtles, like the little guys you see swimming around right now, their beak is actually serrated. So if you guys are at home, obviously if there are kids watching, ask your parents, but look at a butter knife and you guys will see those little jagged edges along the edge of the butter knife. That's kind of what a green sea turtle jaw looks like, and that is going to help them. That serration will help them pull those seagrasses out of the ocean floor. A question from Marilyn is, how much do they eat? How often do you feed them? We do feed the turtles every single day. They get the main part of their diet in the morning, and then this is just a little afternoon enrichment. And yeah, how much we feed them depends on the size of the turtle. So our rehab staff uses a formula to help calculate how much that turtle needs in order to maintain a healthy weight while they are here in the hospital. A question from Gino, are sea turtles on the endangered species list? Yes, they are. They are federally protected. A question from April is, do you ever show live hatchings, or are people allowed to view the hatchlings return to the ocean? So typically we do public releases of hatchlings in the summertime. With everything going on, we're trying to figure out what we are going to do this summer. So there is a chance that we might not have public hatchling releases. We're still working on the logistics in that sense because we want to make sure that we are not putting the public in danger of contracting coronavirus. So if we do not have public hatchling releases, we will be doing lives like this. So again, that is up in the air. We don't know how things are progressing each day, kind of different depending on where you guys are. So we're just playing everything by ear. We will update you guys when we know more specifics. A question from Marcy, who is 10 years old, is asking, where do turtles lay their eggs in the facility? That is a good question. Most of the time, the turtles that we have in here at our hospital are juveniles. They are not adult size yet, which means they will not be laying eggs here. Every now and again, we get an adult sea turtle here in the hospital, but not very often. All right, a question from Kaylee, who is 12. She wants to know which turtle has been here the longest. And that would be the first tank that I showed you guys that had Buddy and El Tigre in it. Those are some of the patients that are the longest term patients that we've had. Good questions, guys. And no, we have never had, to my knowledge, I have been here for 4 years and we have never had turtles lay eggs in our facility. I don't believe that's something we've ever had happen here in our hospital before. Good questions. A question from Ruby, who is 9 years old. What kind of sea turtles do you find in South Padre? What is the rarest that you have found? So our main species that you will see if you go out in the Laguna Madre in our bay are these juvenile green sea turtles like you guys are looking at. The main species that nest here are Kemp's Ridley sea turtles. And the rarest species that we've had in our facility is the leatherback sea turtle. A couple years ago, we did have a leatherback wash up on the beach. We typically don't see them. They don't nest here in Texas. We don't really see them stranding, and that was the first live stranded leatherback that had stranded in Texas in the last decade, if not longer. I believe it's 2 decades. But yeah, that was our rarest turtle. It was also the biggest that we've had too. Good questions, guys. So it looks like our little patients here are just about done with their veggies. If you guys do have any last questions, feel free to type them into the chat box. Everybody's kind of swimming away. How much does your largest turtle weigh? That's a question coming from Laura. Right now, all of our patients are pretty small, about the size that I just showed you. So I'm going to come up to our last tank here that we're going to give veggies to today. There's El Tigre, the turtle that came in. This is its second stay in our hospital here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We have a little. And how Kinsley is asking how small the baby turtles are. And as soon as I get these veggies in the tank, I can show you guys. How fast do the turtles swim? It depends on what they're doing, but they can get going up to 15 miles per hour. So that doesn't sound very fast, especially when you're in a car. But if you imagine a sea turtle swimming out in the ocean, that's pretty quick. Now, about those hatchlings, if you guys look at the palm of your hand, you guys can actually fit, in this big part here, you guys can fit a sea turtle hatchling in your palm. They're very, very tiny. These turtles, to give you an idea, their shell is about as big as my hand. A question coming in from Cindy May is, who do you contact if you come across an injured turtle? And should you call someone if you find a dead turtle? Yes, call us for both. If you are here on South Padre Island or you are in Boca Chica Beach over in Brownsville, Sea Turtle Inc. is the one who handles all strandings in the lower Rio Grande Valley. So you can give us a call. If you're in a different area, look up your local wildlife centers that are there. There's tons of sea turtle rehabilitation centers all throughout the U.S. So obviously those numbers will be different depending on where you're located. A question from Jennifer. Are you guys open for visitors? No, not right now. We have not set a date as to when our facility will be open again to the public, but as soon as we know, we will let you guys know. Any renovations going to be done in the facility? Yes, we are planning on renovating our hospital. I'm going to kind of pan around so you guys can see where I'm going. We have been in this facility since 1999, so it's a lot more dated than our education center. So we are hoping to break ground on this building here fairly soon and have a lot of updates happening, which is really exciting. So last question. If I do miss any of your questions, I apologize. We'll go back and answer them in the comments section. Let's see. Oh, a question from Kelly. That's a good question. Or a question from Ruby, I'm sorry, who's 9. Do you know any mnemonics to help remember the different species of sea turtles? I do not know anything, but that is a challenge that I'm going to give you guys if you are trying to learn the 7 species of sea turtles throughout the world. Come up with a fun little mnemonic and type that in the comments and send us a message, because that would be something cool to share with everybody so everybody can learn and remember the 7 species of sea turtles. Awesome questions, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end this live. If you guys didn't get a chance to see any of our other live videos, feel free to scroll back on our page. We have them all saved so you guys can go back and watch all of our other content that we've put out so far, learn more about sea turtles in general and what we do here at our facility. Our next Facebook Live will be in 2 days. So I believe that is on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I'll be back. We're going to be talking about trash out in our oceans, and specifically one of our little patients and something interesting that happened here at our facility. So join us again in 2 days. Other than that, thank you guys so much, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Bye, guys.